We're now going to look at New Invoice. This can be found in the Customer module under Invoice and option 206 New Invoice. You would use the New Invoice option as an alternative to the Confirm Pick routine. If you use Confirm Pick routine, then you won't use this option. It's either one or the other. When you go to do a New Invoice, the only invoices that will appear in here are the invoices that are ready to invoice. If we just go back to the Find Order option 220 a second, we can see Sales Order 5002 and 5000. Both of those show ready to invoice. So when we go to Invoice and New Invoice, there's only those two showing. There's a couple of different ways of doing this. If you have two piles of orders that need to be converted to invoices to generate delivery notes and things like that, then invoices with no amendments, i.e. everything that has been ordered and picked, I would put into one pile, and any invoices that require being changed to do separately. So what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to go and print the pick note for sales order number 5006. Just to advance it on to ready to invoice. So if we go back to new invoice, we can see here now we've got the three orders. What I'm going to say is these two orders were okay. Everything that was ordered was picked. What I can do, if I tick both of those and either double click on the line here or click OK at the bottom right, if you do that in this screen and you have multiple ones selected, it will then pop up with a window and say, what date would you like to put on all of these invoices that you have selected? I'm going to leave that as today's date and I'm going to click OK. It will then ask, do I want to view the invoice details? I'm going to say no because you may have 20 or 30 invoices ticked at this point, depending on the volume of invoicing. So I'm going to click no. That will then create the invoices. We can see with this bubble message, invoice 5004 and 5005 have been created. However, they didn't pop up to screen, we didn't see them. Once you have invoiced all the ones where there were no amendments, the ones that need amending because maybe all of the stock wasn't on the shelf, so what has been ordered hasn't necessarily been picked, you can do those individually. Now when you tick the invoice on this screen and double click, because there's only one, it will then open it up. What we can see in here is we can say they actually ordered 10, but the ship quantity was only 5. For whatever reason, we only had 5 on the shelf. 5 are going to go on back order. So this is how you would change it if you do it through the new invoice screen. You would also need to check your date up the top, and if you wanted to change it, that is where you would change that tax point date for the invoice. What you can see on the line, as we change this value, we can see here the extended price. If I just put that back to 10 for a moment and tab, we can see that's showing £145. That is the value that we're invoicing for those goods. Because we've reduced it down to 5, it's then obviously only invoicing 5 times the £14.50, which is the £72.50. So our invoice total is going to be slightly less than the original order value because these are going to go on back order. Now, once you've done the invoice, we would normally just save and close. If you're doing them individually through this screen, you can click the print option, or you can still invoice them like this, save and close, and then go to the batch document printing and print the invoices in bulk afterwards. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to save and close, and we can see that's taken our invoice out of the list. If we go to batch document printing, print invoice, and we can see the 3 invoices there to be printed for the 3 that we've just generated.